In my liberation message to the Iraqi people, I made them a solemn promise. The government of Iraq, and the future of your country, will soon belong to you. I went on to say, we will help you build a peaceful and representative government that protects the rights of all citizens. And then our military forces will leave. From the beginning, our goal in Iraq has been to promote Iraqi independence by helping the Iraqi people establish a free country that can sustain itself, rule itself, and defend itself. And in the last 2 years, the Iraqis have made enormous progress toward that goal. Iraqis have laid the foundations of a free society. With hundreds of independent newspapers and dozens of political parties and associations. And schools that teach Iraqi children how to read and write, instead of the propaganda of Saddam Hussein. Iraqis have laid the foundation of a free economy, with a new currency and independent central bank. New laws to encourage foreign investment, and thousands of small businesses established since liberation. The troops from Fort Hood have done their part. In Baghdad, soldiers of the 1st Cavalry Division launched Operation Adam Smith. And the new generation of Iraqi entrepreneurs you help nurture will create jobs and opportunities for millions of their fellow citizens. Iraqis have laid the foundation for a society built on the rule of law. Today, courts are functioning across Iraq, and hundreds of independent Iraqi judges. Have been trained in Bahrain and Jordan and Czech Republic and Britain and Italy. An Iraqi special tribunal has been established that will try senior leadership, including Saddam Hussein. He will get the trial that he did not afford his fellow citizens when he was in power. Slowly but surely, the land that gave civilization the first written code of law is now restoring the rule of law. And setting the example for people across the Middle East. Iraqis have laid a solid foundation for democratic self-government. The world watched in awe as the Iraqi people defied the car bombers and assassins. To cast their votes in the country's first free and democratic election in decades. It took courage, the kind of courage displayed by a 29-year-old Iraqi policeman named Abdul Amir. On election day, Amir noticed a suspicious man walking toward the line of voters at a Baghdad polling station. With complete disregard for his own safety, he threw his arms around the man and dragged him into a nearby intersection. Where the man detonated the belt of explosives that was wrapped around his body. Amir took the brunt of the blast, giving his own life to save scores of innocent civilians. He is a hero of a free Iraq, and the world honors his valor and his sacrifice. Because of brave Iraqis like Abdul Amir, today the Free Nation of Iraq has elected a transitional assembly. A president and two deputy presidents, leaders who answer to the people, instead of the other way around. I've spoken with the new leaders of Iraq, President Talabani, as well as Assembly Speaker Al-Hassani. I congratulated them on their achievement. I told them I look forward to working with the new government that will soon be established. I assured them that the United States will continue to stand with the Iraqi people. As they take control of their destiny and assume the blessings of self-government. There's a lot of hard work ahead. The Iraqi people face brutal and determined enemies. But Iraqis are also determined, and they have the will to defeat the insurgency. The soldiers and police of a free Iraq learned on election day they can face down the insurgents. And they learned they can prevail. The Iraqi people now have confidence that the soldiers and police of a free Iraq have the courage and resolve to defend them. The Iraqi security forces are fighting bravely for the future of their country. And in the last 6 months alone, more than 800 have given their lives in the struggle. The soldiers of Fort Hood have seen their courage in action. Sergeant First Class Troy Hawkins recently put it, "The Iraqis will stand and fight." I've seen guys with grenade fragments in them, bleeding. Pulling people off the street and getting kids out of the way. Then they'll fight the enemy. They're determined to make this work. And the United States is determined to help the Iraqis succeed. As Iraq's new government assumes increasing responsibility for the stability of their country. Security operations are entering a new phase. Iraq security forces are becoming more self-reliant and taking on greater responsibilities. And that means that America and its coalition partners are increasingly playing more of a supporting role. Today, more than 150,000 Iraqi security forces have been trained and equipped. And for the first time, the Iraqi army, police, and security forces now outnumber. U.S. forces in Iraq. Like free people everywhere, Iraqis want to be defended and led by their own countrymen. We will help them achieve this objective so Iraqis can secure their own nation. And then our troops will come home with the honor they have earned. The Iraqi people know the sacrifices you are making. They're grateful to you. They are grateful to your families. One Iraqi army colonel put it this way. These US soldiers leave their wives and kids to come here and give us freedom. We have to thank them for doing that for us. You are making possible the peace of Iraq, and you are making possible the security of free nations. Yours is noble work, it's important work, and I thank you for assuming your duty. As the Iraq democracy succeeds, that success is sending a message from Beirut to Tehran that freedom can be the future of every nation. The establishment of a free Iraq at the heart of the Middle East will be a crushing defeat to the forces of tyranny and terror. And a watershed event in the global democratic revolution. In the last 2 years, you have accomplished much, yet your work isn't over. Freedom still faces dangerous adversaries. Terrorists still want to attack our people. But they're losing. These terrorists are losing the struggle because they're under constant pressure from our armed forces. and they will remain under constant pressure from our armed forces. And they are losing the struggle because they are on the wrong side of history. Across the broader Middle East, the tide of freedom is surging. The people of Afghanistan have embraced free government. After suffering under one of the most backward tyrannies on earth. The people of the Palestinian territories cast their ballots against violence and corruption. Of the past. The people of Lebanon are rising up to demand their freedom and independence. Saudi Arabia has held its first municipal elections in decades. Egypt is taking its first steps on the path to democratic reform. A critical mass of events is taking that region in a hopeful new direction. And as freedom spreads in the Middle East and beyond, the American people will be safer and the free world more secure. You have fought the battles in the war on terror, and you have served the cause of freedom. And you can be proud of all that you have achieved. This time of brave achievement is also a time of sacrifice. Many of our soldiers have returned from war with grave wounds that they will carry with them the rest of their lives. And America will fulfill its duty by providing them the best medical care possible. Still others have given their lives in this struggle, your friends. Your comrades. We honor their memory. We lift them up in prayer. Their sacrifice will always be remembered by a grateful nation. We can live as free people because men and women like you have stepped forward and have volunteered to serve. I came here today to thank you in person for your courageous choice of service. You're making America proud. You're making America free. And you're making the world more peaceful. I want to thank you for all you've done for our great nation. May God bless you and your families. And may God continue to bless this great land of liberty, the United States of America. George W. Bush. Fourth Presidential State of the Union Address. Delivered February 2, 2005. Thank you all. Mr. Speaker, Vice President Cheney, members of Congress, fellow citizens. As a new Congress gathers, all of us in the elected branches of government share a great privilege. We've been placed in office by the votes of the people we serve. And tonight that is a privilege we share with newly elected leaders of Afghanistan. The Palestinian territories, Ukraine, and a free and sovereign Iraq. Two weeks ago, I stood on the steps of this capital and renewed the commitment of our nation to the guiding ideal of liberty for all. This evening I will set forth policies to advance that ideal at home and around the world. Tonight, with a healthy, growing economy, with more Americans going back to work. With our nation an active force for good in the world, the state of our union is confident and strong.